To talk about it with one of the members of Congress who is planning, we believe at this hour, to vote no, Congressman Leonard Lance, Republican of New Jersey. Hi, Congressman. I know a couple of weeks ago on this show you explained why you're a yes vote. Now you are voting against it. Is there anything you can hear in the next 5.5 hours that will change your mind?
I don't believe so. I think that the amendments have been proffered and we now move forward with an actual vote. And I don't think that this will lower premium prices for constituents in New Jersey. And of course, I would like to see the Democrats come to the table because I think that this is a bipartisan matter. And I'm critical of the Democrats for not coming to the table, at least to this point, Hallie.
So then what happens, Congressman? You are, your entire party really ran on getting rid of Obamacare. So if this fails today and it looks as though it's going to come to the floor, what happens on Monday or next Monday or 2 months from now?
I ran on replacing Obamacare, not merely repealing it. I was explicit in that regard in repeated campaigns, and I think we should move forward with what I call phase 3, and that includes purchase of policies across state lines, medical malpractice insurance reform, and I would hope that the Democrats would recognize that they have a responsibility as well as those of us who currently serve in the majority.
Congressman, one of your colleagues, Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn, was just on talking about where she sees this all developing today. I want to play for you what she said. Listen.
I can tell you the big news is we're trending yes. I think today is a pivotal point for this Congress because it will give the president some momentum that he needs to continue to work with us. And he has done a great job of working with us and with the whip team.
So you heard it from Congresswoman Blackburn, trending yes, Congressman. Really?
I don't know. I'm not on the whip team, and I'm not counting heads. Marsha Blackburn is a close friend of mine, and I'm pleased to serve with her on the Commerce Committee, and perhaps she would know better than I. I am a no because of the views of my constituents. Our mail and the telephone calls are overwhelmingly in opposition to this, and I do think that we have to move forward in a bipartisan capacity, and I call upon our Democratic colleagues to come to the table.
This is a president in the White House behind us here, Congressman, who has, let's be honest, a long memory. Are you concerned at all about potential either retribution or a primary challenge, potentially, somebody coming at you from the right? How much is that playing into your thought process or decision making?
2017 is a year of governance, not of politics, and of course there are conservative groups.
They're all years of politics, though, right?
I think this should be a year of governance, Hallie. There are conservative groups that oppose the plan. For example, the Club for Growth. Donald Trump came close in our district. I think he was shy by about 3,500 votes, and I believe my views are the views of the overwhelming majority of the residents of the congressional district I serve.
Congressman, I know you were at that House conference meeting late last night. We were all sort of watching it develop into the evening, where Mick Mulvaney came out, the budget director, and essentially delivered the message from the administration, which was negotiations are over. Today, it's now or never. Either get it done or the president is going to move on to other priorities. Is that a productive way for him to lead, in your view?
I think there is a time to vote, and today is the time to vote. And I certainly want to work with the president on tax reform and perhaps an infrastructure bill. And I want to work with the president on this issue. But I think the way to handle this issue is through purchase of policies across state lines, tort reform, and I think that that will require support and cooperation from the other side of the aisle, the Democrats, and I think they have a responsibility, Hallie, because the exchanges are not in good shape, and in 1/3 of the counties in this country, there is only one insurer, and I think that the president, the Speaker, and others in leadership are trying to do the best job possible, but I would encourage our Democratic colleagues to come to the table.
Well, it seems as though it's a given that the Democrats aren't going to come to the table on this particular plan, right? And so I take your point as to wanting to move on to tax reform, and that is something that the president has said, or his aides have told us he also wants to do soon now. But moving on would effectively leave Obamacare in place, wouldn't it?
Not if we move in the direction of tort reform and purchase of policies across state lines. That would require cooperation, particularly in the Senate. with Democratic colleagues because of the 60-vote rule. But I think that the Democrats have a responsibility to come to the table, and we also want to work on these other important issues like tax reform.
Congressman, before I let you go, how do you see the day unfolding? At 5 o'clock, are we going to be watching a vote on the House floor on this fail?
I would imagine that we'll be voting in the afternoon, and since I'm not on the whip team, I do not know how the vote will go. Leadership understands that I am a no, and I really do not know the outcome of the vote.
All right, Congressman Lance from New Jersey, thank you very much for joining us again on this program. It has been a roller coaster a few weeks, that is for sure. Congressman, thanks.